got a boys working hard. But stay outside. Well, my question is, it's like a light. That's what I thought, but I figured out I wonder if it's a 9-volt.
Yeah, this is
City?
yeah, so it is.
I'm just going to... Yeah, but we don't want to squeeze in. Do you want them in the order, or does it matter? No, you got it. I just want you guys close. And
gotcha. So I'm there.
Squeeze in there.
All right.
No, you touch, man. Don't take me down.
We're all friends. We're all friends. I'm good with that, man.
Rob. And then when he calls you up,
Okay, we'll get started here if everyone's to come around. Just for the media, before we get started, the speaker list is up here on the front table. If you want to take a photo of it afterwards, the speakers' names are all spelled correctly on there. Sure. Yeah, if you want to take a minute, that's fine.
Are you holding it?
Oh, no, it's up there. Yeah. Okay, good afternoon. My name is Jonathan Cox. I'm the Public Information Officer for Incident Management Team 1 here on the Central LNU complex. This is the 1300 briefing for the complex itself.
This is KPIX 5 Breaking News.
A news conference is underway right now in Sonoma County with the very latest on the wine country wildfires. Let's listen in.
Of each representative. So with that, I'd like to introduce the Central LNU Complex Operations Section Chief, Steve Crawford.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Crawford, Incident Management Team 1, Operations Section Chief during the daytime. What we've got going, I'll just give you a brief synopsis of our current events that's going on in the fire. We've got 3 separate fires on the sheet here behind you in the map. What we've done is we've taken the lower section there where it's called the Nuns Fire. It was 4 separate fires originally. All those fires have combined together and touched each other. So we're just calling that all the Nuns Fire now, so for simplicity for the rest of us, and just because it's one fire. So we've reorganized all those fires so that it's under one category. It's called the Nuns Fire. I'll start up in the top, kind of give you a rundown of what's going on. The pocket fire, your upper left-hand corner there of the map, which would be apologize for that, the pocket fire. So there's a lot of activity going on in that, working its way to the east direction towards Black Mountain. We've got the dozer line and control line on the south side of that, where it comes down there above Geyserville. but it's pushing out to the east with the wind event coming up this afternoon. We're just keep skirting it to the east there. We found a good spot out there in front of it and on the eastern side. The helicopters, the rotor wing, and the aircraft have put some good check line in there so we can get some boots on the ground and try and keep that progression going to the east. So that's what we're working on really hard right now. On the north section, it's burning up towards Geysers Road where it comes across on the top, and there's the river drainage behind there. It's kind of come up to that river drainage is kind of being held up, especially with the wind above it. As I work down to the middle, we got the Tubbs fire that's in the middle of this operation. On the east side of that fire, you can see we've already started by putting a little bit of black line on there, meaning our comfort level for that area is pretty strong. We've gone in there, we've had boots on the ground. They've worked their way into the fire quite a ways and put down most of the smoke so that any event, a wind event or something, will not throw sparks outside the line. So we're feeling comfortable with that section up there at the top. As we work our way down on the right-hand side, meaning down there on the southeast side of the fire there. Again, our comfort level's up in there. We've worked really hard on that south section and the east section with the anticipation of the wind events coming up. So we worked really hard on those sections, and our comfort level's up pretty good, especially down here, Santa Rosa City on the south side of the fire. We're working real well getting that stuff taken care of down there in the lower section, and up to the point where we're addressing getting some repopulation into those lower areas. As we come around on the the west side of the fire, there's one little trouble spot that we had that we were concerned about this morning. The folks, I just got off the radio with those guys. There's one little trouble spot in there that they've gotten some good dozer line around it and hand line around it, with the expectation of the winds coming up, I think we're going to be able to pinch that piece off. So that's a good news on that piece. As we come across to the top up there in what we're calling Branch 9 up at Robert Louis Stevenson Park up there at the top, where Highway 29 is. That's a concerning spot. It's a switchback road. There's a lot of steep country up there and steep brush, lots of brush, and the repeater sites up there. We've been making pretty good progress on holding that piece from slopping over 29. It came over once. We jumped on it, held it in check. So as the winds develop today, that's going to be our concerning piece. It's getting closer to the communication site up there at the top, but we've had a lot of rotor wing activity and fixed wing activity putting retardant around those, and we're getting some dozer line and some hand line that's trying to cut the top of that piece off. We're making pretty good progress right now, and hopefully we'll have that in place before that wind event takes off later today. Coming down to the Nuns fire. We're on the north end of that fire up there by the Oakmont community. We did really good work last night. I was concerned about that piece. There's a big grove stand there by that community, around those communities, that was blown off pretty good yesterday afternoon. But we had some good aggressive firefighting going on. We had some bulldozers and hand crews did some work in that forest and put some dirt on the ground. Some bulldozer blades on the ground. Got around it, came back and proved that. We did a little backfiring activity last night, and that's looking really good. My comfort level's feeling pretty good about that. Unfortunately, with the wind event coming up, hopefully those trees aren't going to torch and throw ember cast later tonight. So that's a concern of us on that Oakmont area. As we come across on the top there, into the Sugarloaf Ridge State Park up there, it's come out and it's working its way to the northeast. Up there towards the community of St. Helena. We're working out. We've got some, again, a lot of bulldozer work going on, good resource work coming in there, working off through the Napa, into the Napa County side, and working our way down in that direction. Again, catching that north piece so it's not growing anymore to the north. As we come around on the backside, I call it the backside, but it's the northeastern side of the fire over there. It's in some steep country. We've identified some places where we can maybe get some bulldozer work in there. So it started from the top, and then we're going to start working our way to the south. At the same time, we've got work equipment coming up from the south off of the 9 up there working its way up on that side and trying to get a dozer line across there, so that way the fire can come up to our dozer line and work it from that side. As we come around the bottom of the fire, which used to be the old Patrick fire, comfort level is really good where it squirts out there towards the bottom on the south end. We put black line on the map. The comfort level is out. Most of that is out, not 100%, so not 100% comfortable depending on the wind event. But we're doing good progress there. Down here on the southwest side here, where it's above the city of Sonoma there, the guys did a lot of work 2 nights ago, continued it today, making good progress. Again, bulldozer lines, hand lines, and a little bit of backfiring to bring it up to the hillside there was working out really well. So as we come around the fire, that's about the most activity that's going on. As of 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, it was positive. I didn't get any negative feedback from the guys in boots on the ground, and that's a good thing. About this time, usually each day, we've been getting some negative feedback. I'm having a hard time here. I need a little bit more resources here. We can't get the aircraft in there because of the wind. We can't get the aircraft in there because of the smoke. Making a lot better progress today in hopes of, we told the guys, get the boots on the ground, do hard work today, so that way by this afternoon, this evening when that wind comes up, hopefully we'll be ahead of the power curve. Thank you.
Chief Crawford, thank you very much for that very specific, detailed report. Just to reiterate on his report, in that area we have 12 helicopters and 6 air tankers actively working this fire, so both on the ground and in the air. Our next speaker is going to speak a little bit more at a higher level and kind of to the area, and that's our Unified Incident Commander, Brett Gouveia.
Good afternoon. Brett Gouveia, CAL FIRE IMT-1 in Unified Command with Chief Gosner from Santa Rosa City Fire Department and Sheriff Giordano from Sonoma County Sheriffs. A big step that we took yesterday was to reorganize this incident and to make an effort to have one incident management team assigned to all the fires in each county. Prior to yesterday, we were sharing those responsibilities with the South Branch and CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 3. So what we decided to do was zone the fires on the county line. So you can see the Nuns fire crosses county line. We are both working in conjunction on that fire, together fighting that fire. And this is a typical thing that happens when you share responsibility over a fire between 2 teams. It makes it a lot cleaner for all of you, for the EOCs, for the elected officials, as they only deal with one, each county deals with one incident management team. So we're very happy that that has taken place, and we're already seeing some positive effects from that. We are concerned about red flag warnings. We've had various reports of winds that could exceed 40 miles an hour, and we're keeping a close eye on that. As Chief Crawford just told you, we are diligently working hard. We've challenged the troops to get out there and secure mainly the south parts of these fires in preparation for those strong north winds. And in addition to that, contingency planning for other communities outside of those fires and things that if they go really bad are underway. We are aggressively working on 2 pressing operations simultaneously, fighting the fire in some areas and also preparing for repopulation in other areas that have been evacuated. I've said it time and again, as soon as we evacuate folks, we are thinking about repopulation. We start talking about it immediately because we don't want to keep anybody out of their homes 1 minute longer than we have to. So I can tell you that steps are being taken right now today. Plans are being worked to try to repopulate a portion of Santa Rosa City that is evacuated in the next day or 2. And we'll have more details on that probably in a press release later today. We are still actively coordinating efforts between all the cooperating agencies out there. Master Mutual Aid in the state has been huge on this fire. As I said yesterday, we have fire districts, fire departments, state, local, federal fire departments from all over the state of California here assisting us, as well as our neighboring states out there that are sending resources from out of the state in to assist us. The presidential declaration for individual assistance has been approved. And we understand everyone is affected by this disaster, and we are eager to return to some normalcy for you. Rest assured that we are using every tool in the toolbox to mitigate this situation, and we will not stop until this mission is accomplished. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And in addition to Chief Gouveia, one of the Unified Commanders who's been out here since night one, I've seen him firsthand out on the line, is the City of Santa Rosa Fire Chief Tony Gosner.
Hello, everyone. Tony Gosner, Santa Rosa Fire Department. Want to touch on 3 points. Oakmont. There's a lot of good work going on around Oakmont with dozer line and backfiring. We feel it's very secure on the backside of Oakmont. Also, the Summerfield Road area going into Bennett Valley. A ton of great work. A lot of dozer work, a lot of retardant work, a lot of backfire work, which really helps our crews in times when the wind's going to come up. And we feel this afternoon the wind is going to come up, and it's going to challenge our crews out there. You heard the IC mention that we have a ton of resources in here. We do. This morning it was a great sight rolling in, seeing all of the people. They're eager, they're positive, they're here to make a difference for our community, and we're excited for that. So we're really excited that it's going to be, we're making a big difference out there. The last point I want to touch on is we have 2 hospitals that are currently closed, Sutter Hospital and Kaiser Hospital. We're really close to opening Kaiser Hospital. We got a few more hurdles to tackle on that, but we feel that within the next 12 hours or so, we're hopeful that we'll be able to get that hospital open, which will relieve our system, our EMS system. It's the only hospital open for a long ways away, right? So Memorial Hospital, which is the hospital that's open, is just buried. So we got to open that relief valve. It's going to take some time. We feel right there. We got a few more things to do, but it's incredibly complicated once you close the hospital down to get them back up and running to the standard that it needs to be for the state. So have patience with us, and we're doing the best we can. There's a lot of activity going on. You heard it. We got active firefighting, and we got people that we're trying to repopulate into the city. So there's a lot of good work going on here. So please bear with us. We're with you, and we will always be with you. So thank you.
Thank you, Chief. In addition to the fire resources that are in command here, one of the important aspects of Unified Command is the law enforcement component. Representing the Sonoma County Sheriff's Department is Sheriff Rob Giordano.
Thank you. So the Sheriff's Office is concentrating heavily today on missing persons and searches. The current missing persons report is 1,308 total reports in. 1,052 of those have been located safe. 256 are outstanding. What they've been doing is working backwards from that, as I've said before, and finding when they can't find someone and it looks like they might be in the house and in a burned area, they set that for a search. We have 45 search and rescue people out in the field, 30 detectives right now, and they're starting targeted searches for those locations to try and find those people and recover remains. We're up to 18 fatalities now. Today is the biggest push we put out there as far as missing persons and recoveries, so we hope to get a lot of work done today. Last thing I want to leave you with is we have Spanish text alerts on Nixle, so keep following the Sheriff's Office Nixle page. They're in Spanish and English. Our Facebook posts are being posted in Spanish and English, and we're transcribing all the press conferences in Spanish and English on the Facebook post as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. In addition to the evacuations, there are...
We were just listening into this news conference in Sonoma County with the very latest. We just heard in Sonoma County so far 18 people have been confirmed dead just in that county, and 256 people are still considered missing. They talked a lot about the 3 separate big fires that they're really focusing on. The Pocket Fire, which is up north. There's still a lot of activity in that area, and that fire is pushing east, but they are trying to make some progress on those containment lines. Also the Tubbs Fire, which is at 25% containment right now, and the Nuns Fire, which is actually 4 separate fires that merged into one large fire. The west side has been a trouble spot, but crews are confident that they are making some ground on those containment lines. They talked a lot about making those dozer lines around the fires. That fire did cross county lines, so now we know Napa and Sonoma County are both working together in fighting that Nuns fire. Now, while there is good progress on these fires, there is a red flag warning that the crews are very concerned about for later tonight, with some wind gusts expected to hit 40 miles per hour. And of course, the focus is to fight the fires, but also to think about repopulating and get some of those people who have been evacuated back into their neighborhoods if their neighborhoods are still standing. We are going to keep an eye on all of this, all of the latest in these wildfires, and bring you details as we get them. Of course, you can always go on our website, cbssf.com, and be sure to tune in later at KPIX 5 News at 4.
With CBS All Access, you can watch KPIX 5 News live.
Emergency vehicle access and response, and our whole purpose out there is to keep the roadways safe and keep our emergency personnel able to respond as fast as possible. Stay out of the left lane if you can. There's a lot of emergency vehicles going up and down the highways, and it makes it a lot easier on all of us, fire, police, to get up and down the roadways and get to where we need to be so that we can help you and your families. In the long run, it helps everybody out. If you happen to be there, pay attention to your rearview mirror. If somebody's coming up on you, move over. Signal lights is another issue. They're out all over the cities without power. You know, when you come to these intersections, please be safe. Slow down, stop, clear the intersection before you go. Accidents are not something that we need to deal with right now. And along with that goes with cell phone use. Whether you're on your Bluetooth or whether you're texting or trying to look at your phone for another reason, it's just flat out dangerous, and we need you to just take an off-ramp, stop in a safe place, and contact your loved ones or do whatever you need to do. 9 people a day die due to distracted driving, and we just don't need to add to the problems out on the road. As far as road closures go, if you'd like a list of those closures, we're trying to keep our social websites updated. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at CHP Santa Rosa. There's also a county road or a county website. It's roadconditions.sonoma-county.org, and we'll do our best to keep you guys updated on that stuff. So with that, our hearts go out to you, and good afternoon.
Thank you, Commander. In addition to the fire and law enforcement personnel, this incident has obviously affected a large swath of the county. Speaking next is Sonoma County District Attorney Jill Revich.
Thank you. I want to let everybody know that the message that should be loud and clear is that no looting is going to be tolerated in this county. You've heard it from law enforcement officials, and you're hearing it from me. We're already getting reports in. I've been out in some of these terrible areas where people are at the point where they're putting signs on their door saying, "There's nothing here, please don't loot." So if anybody thinks they're going to get away with it, I think my law enforcement partners will agree with me that that's not going to happen in Sonoma County. So the word needs to go out. Additionally, there is a curfew in effect in Santa Rosa. We are beginning to see reports come in that people are violating that curfew. We're going to prosecute. People are going to go to jail as a result. We're doing it to keep people safe. We've also had some reports of interference with personnel at the scene of an emergency, as well as unlawful entry into closed areas that are disaster areas. Those, again, punishable by incarceration, and we're taking all of these allegations very, very seriously. The police and law enforcement and fire personnel need to do what they have to do. If you interfere with them or you delay them while they're trying to carry out their responsibilities, that's a crime. And again, we will prosecute. So the other thing that we're dealing with is price gouging. I'm getting emails actually while I'm waiting here to address you of stories of price gouging. If anybody thinks that that's occurring, that's where a business is raising its price more than 10% after an emergency has been declared, you can call our office and report it in, and we'll do an investigation into it. So just contact the DA's office, and we will follow up on it, because that will not be tolerated either. I want to let you know that I've been in touch with the Superior Court. If you don't know, the Superior Court's been closed this week due to an emergency order that's in effect. It's just been extended, so the Superior Court here in Sonoma County will be closed at least until Wednesday of next week. There will be a press release coming out, so there will be absolutely no court in either the criminal, family, or civil courtrooms. If you have a need to come to court, you should be checking with whatever agency that you're working with. You can call the DA's office if you're wondering what you should do, or the public defender's office. We're both up and running, and we're answering as many questions as we can. If you're a victim of a crime with a restraining order that's due to expire, contact us and we can talk to you about what you need to do to make sure that that order stays in effect as well. With regard to juveniles, you may have heard they've been evacuated. They're not at the juvenile correctional facility right now. They're out of county, and they will be addressing their situation on Monday. So there is no court. Don't come to court at this point, and we will be dealing with you with regard to what will be happening in the future. But again, I just want to make really clear, these laws are on the books for a reason, folks. And if anybody thinks this is a time to come in, put on a uniform and pretend that you're one of the professionals dealing with this disaster, you're wrong. I will tell you that we got a report of somebody up at LBC who put a security uniform on and was pretending that they had something professional to do up there, when in fact I think that the facts are showing that wasn't the case. So don't pretend, stay away, just let the professionals do their job. Otherwise, we're going to have to do our job, and that's going to involve potentially putting you in jail. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Santa Rosa Police Chief Hank Schroeder.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chief of Police Hank Schroeder. A couple areas I want to touch on is the amount of mutual aid coming into this area, both fire and law enforcement. Every day we have new groups coming from out the region, giving into this community, helping keep it safe. With that, the areas I'd like to touch on are that the Sheriff's Department and Santa Rosa Police Department are working very collaboratively to bring resolution to those that are missing or reported they can't find their loved ones in this community. So we're working very closely with the Sheriff's Department to resolve those issues and get some answers in that area. The other area is getting our regional hospitals open. Very important for this community to have those facilities up and running at full capacity. The Santa Rosa EOC and county are working closely on that issue also. And in terms of the evacuation areas, it's very important that people stay out of those areas. You've heard it from my partners behind me. We are working and we have officers in those areas trying to deal with the issues of people coming into those areas, either for reasons that they're not supposed to be in there or just trying to get back into the area to see their properties. We're trying to get those areas open. I know it's frustrating, but we really are working through the process, and we'll get there. With that, we're doing everything we can to bring this community back into some sense of normalcy. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. And our final two speakers are going to come up together, and they represent the City of Santa Rosa and the County of Sonoma, and that's Mayor Corsi and Chairwoman Zane. After this, we'll take some questions for the speakers.
Thank you very much. I'm Shirley Zane, and I'm the chair of the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors. I'm going to start with just saying that sheltering our displaced community members has been a top priority for our emergency operations staff, and we continue to work around the clock to get resources to those evacuees. 22 shelters remain open to serve our community, and we continue to coordinate medical services and supplies to all of our shelters, and we also offer mental health services. We know these are stressful and taxing times, and people have gone through a tremendous amount of loss, and grief is beginning to set in. Even that said, recovery and rebuilding has begun. I want to give our residents hope. We've, to date, done over 1,400 building inspections. In partnership with the City of Santa Rosa, FEMA, and the California Office of Emergency Services, the county is opening a local assistance center, commonly known as a LAC, on Saturday at the former Press Democrat building, which is 427 Mendocino Avenue. Again, that is Saturday. A LAC, or LAC, or a local assistance center, is a one-stop shop for people who have been impacted by these terrible fires, and we will help you to access critical resources. Mayor Corsi will tell you a little bit more about these resources.
Just one note there, it's not the former Press Democrat building, it's still, the Press Democrat is still there, it just doesn't occupy the whole building. So talking about that local assistance center, this is the first part of the next stage of this process, the recovery. At the local assistance center, which again will be open tomorrow, there will be a FEMA disaster response center to provide direct assistance from FEMA. Department of Motor Vehicle Services. If you need documentation that's been destroyed, you'll be able to access that in the LAC. Insurance claims can be filed there. Small Business Administration Services. A bunch of different county services. You can help this process by bringing any documentation that you still have on you, such as driver's license, insurance policy numbers, passport, if you're a veteran, your veteran's information. If you don't have that, you still come anyway. We'll figure that out with you. But if you have it, it will expedite the process. So the site will be wheelchair accessible. Spanish translators will be available, and it will be open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for at least the next 2 weeks, and likely longer than that. So I just want to say while we're here that you're looking at a huge number of partners that we've got from state, county, local and federal sources around the country. Behind these trailers here, there's a tent city. Each one of those tents represents some of the many, many hundreds of firefighters who are here helping us out. Those people are not sleeping at home tonight either. They're out protecting our homes, and I just want to really appreciate that. I keep getting asked about what's next. What are we going to do to rebuild? It's a tough question to answer. We've lost almost 5% of the housing stock in Santa Rosa. We're looking at least $1.2 billion worth of damage in Santa Rosa alone. And this fire, obviously, looking at the maps, goes way beyond the city limits of Santa Rosa. So it's a huge hill that we've got to climb. I guarantee you that the leaders of this community are looking and planning for how that happens. But our job right now is to get through this emergency. Then we'll start taking the next steps. Thank you all. Thanks to all the first responders who are with us today.
Thank you, and I just want to close by saying that we have county staff continuing to visit all the shelters with that information about where to find resources and also helping to answer questions. We've increased our efforts also to our bilingual community. Want to add, we don't care about whether you're documented if you show up at a shelter. We are there to serve you. Please do not be afraid. Our hearts are with you. We will get through this together. We know that these are catastrophic losses and difficult times, but we are a strong county, and we have resources and cities and counties and federal assistance coming in from all over. Thank you very much.
Just wanted to mention to residents who are evacuated, Commander Gouveia mentioned that we're going to be trying to get the evacuation areas repopulated ASAP. If you want to get notice when that happens, one of the best ways to do it is to register on Nixle, and that's send your zip code to 888-777. It's a 6-digit number that you're texting, 888-777, and just put in your zip code. You'll get notified when it's okay to go back to the evacuation areas.
I have one more thing to add. People are very concerned about their animals. You can contact the county animal shelter. Also, we continue to evacuate large animals, especially horses, and they are safely being housed here at our Sonoma County Fairgrounds, also Sonoma Marin, and I believe there's some down in Solano too. So we will continue to rescue pets as we rescue people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just for a single point of contact, the fire.ca.gov has all of the links to all of the organizations and places that have been spoken about up here today. All the individuals who are up here will be available for one-on-one interviews afterwards, so if you need to go in-depth with something specific from a representative, please wait till that time. But for now, I'll open it to any questions for the 9 representatives who's just spoken. All right, we'll end the press conference now. Again, all 9 will be available for one-on-one comments. Thank you for your time.
And when he calls you up,
Okay, we'll get started here if everyone's to come around. Just for the media, before we get started, the speaker list is up here on the front table. If you want to take a photo of it afterwards, the speakers' names are all spelled correctly on there. Sure. Yeah, if you want to take a minute, that's fine.
Are you holding it?
Oh, no, it's up there. Yeah. Okay, good afternoon. My name is Jonathan Cox. I'm the Public Information Officer for Incident Management Team 1 here on the Central LNU complex. This is the 1300 briefing for the complex itself.
This is KPIX 5 breaking news.
Yeah. Yeah, this is... Yeah, put it.
I'm just going to... Yeah, but we won't speak into
Do you want them in the order, or does it matter?
No, you got it. Right. I just want you guys close. And
Gotcha. So I'm there.
Squeeze in there.
All right.
No, you touch, man. Don't take me down.
We're all friends. We're good. We're all friends. I'm good with that, man.